Happy New Year's, everyone. It is I, Solar Rail Productions. I'm here to tell you about a new plan that's going to be put in place for 2021. First off, let me say that the month of January, there probably might not be much activity as both my computers have crashed, one for editing and one for filming. The one for that I use for filming will be replaced. I will plan to get a new one. And the one I use for editing is getting repaired. So by between the month of January, I know that there will be no activity between my YouTube channel. But February and the continuation, there will be a little bit more activity. Now let's talk about Thomas and Friends NWR Futures. There is a brand new episodes that are being thought out currently. I have one more special in mind, and then two trilogies episodes that will be following pursuit. The first off, the special is a kind of an origin story of Spencer involving at least half of the A4s and the Flying Scotsman and Gordon. So that's a good plan I've had. I will say this is that it's following the death of Sir Ralph Wedgwood. Gadwall has been chosen to take on his name and legacy. Spencer, being his snobbish shelf, is putting more strain on Gadwall, who's the new current Sir Nigel Gresley, and who feels like he's not taking on the role of his older brother. So that's the first off game plan. That's as far as I got up to right now. So because I don't want to spoil it for the rest of you. The two trilogies will involve first off the Skarloey Railway. We're gonna travel to the Skarloey Railway, which is now being added to the Solar Rail Productions family of Thomas Friends NWR Futures. As I said in the letter, they were removed. They're being brought back in with a whole new section of cast. I've added a new narrow gauge engine to the team, and she's now taking on a whole new role, a new world, and some of the engines are treating her fairly, some of them not. We're gonna follow her journey into her brand new role to become the Skarloey Prize. The next trilogy, if you guys saw the Christmas special and the bonus scene, is about the Big Four Railway Company expedition as Earl John Normanby, son of Sir Robert Normanby, is opening up the railway museum and has four different engines from four different railroads or railways. Because I live in Canada, my bad. Four different railways come to visit, and a huge meltdown starts between Thomas, Donald, Douglas, Gordon, and Duck between the visiting engines who they come from the same different railways. So that is the game plan for NWR Futures, and then they'll go into a hiatus. Can't say that today. The next thing that will be planned is I'm bringing back the Roseworth Railway's Kings of the LNER. I've figured out some kinks, and I have a brilliant plan on what's going to happen in this series, or the sequel series to the flagship series that started out my channel. So we'll start off with the fourth episode of what I had originally intended for, The Bells for Whom Blue Tolled, where Bittern and Stepney, the Bluebell engine, are having a little bit of a disagreement during the Royal Steam Gala. And then we go on to the Green Arrow being now purchased by the London to Brighton Railway to work with the other steam engines on the railway. And then there was a lot more ideas to the series. That's what I got so far. So Roseworth Railway Kings of the LNR is going to be expected to take place after the hiatus of after Thomas and Friends NWR Futures goes into their hiatus. So pretty much I intend that Roseworth Railway's Kings of the LNER comes between mid-March to April. Then after, the Roseworth Railway's very first series will be coming back to fruition, as Season 2 will take on a new rank of 10 episodes to mark off the series finale. So once the 10 episodes have returned or brought in, there will be no more Roseworth Railways or Trains Driver to the Roseworth Railway. Now, let's talk about what's going to happen so far after all these episodes have been played. Like I said, Thomas and Friends NWR Futures is planned to come back in 2022. And I'm not sure about the Kings of the LNR. I still haven't made a plan for them. But between that gap, I have an intention of releasing some merch and a brand new series going along with it. It's a Canadian series that I had planned. I'm looking for cast members. We're still not the whole cast still hasn't been planned yet, but I have a new cast list in mind. It is a Canadian Pacific / national series starring my two OC characters, Carmen and Cody. If you have, no, I don't think, no, never mind. But yeah, Carmen and Cody have been officially having their own series and were originally supposed to be planned into my NWR Futures when it was planned as a model form. That's been canceled, as you know, and I've decided to just drop them from my cast at all costs. So Carmen and Cody will be coming back as planned. And yeah, pretty much. There'll be brand new merch going along with this Canadian Pacific Canadian National Series. What I will say is that it's not going to all be diesel locomotives. This is a steam / diesel locomotive series. I will give you this, that the merch will be something for you guys to use, not to wear. They're still being finalized, so be on the lookout on my Instagram, and I will for any updates on the new merch. The Canadian Pacific side, I will have already the cast officialized and finalized, which I will tell you right now will be 2816, 2860, 3716, and 3101. Though, and plus my OC Cody. These engines will be the new cast for the Canadian Pacific side, and then the Canadian national side, we're still figuring it out. I'm still figuring it out, really. But I do have an eye opener for Canadian National 6060 and Canadian National S1B. One of the S1B class. Plus Carmen, my OC that you see on my icon profile. So those are pretty much the new plans and updates. So I'm excited to be releasing those to you. Just like I said, the merch is still being in its final shape form, and I'm still planning on that. But I'm pretty much excited for 2021 and see what it brings for all of you guys. Yeah.